Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a part 2 to last week's video, which was memorization tips. I have more of them. So if you haven't seen that video, I will link it in the description so you can either watch it before you watch this one, or you could watch this one and then go back to watch that one. So without further ado, let's jump into this week's video. So last week we covered basic things, writing it down, walking and saying your lines, repeating them over and over again. Today we're going to add in some more tips to that. I used my trusty old Google here, forgot some of these tips. It's a refresher for me. Okay, so we're still working on the same script that we did, but this week we're not writing them. So get your script in your hands, let's go. Number 1, run lines with someone. It doesn't even have to be an actor. It could be your parent, your best friend, some random person on the bus. Okay, maybe not some random person on the bus, but your friend, your family, an actor, somebody. You're going to read your lines, they're going to read everyone else's lines. So in this case, they're going to read everything that's not highlighted. So you're going to run lines with someone because it'll help you know your cue. Write your lines out. We already went over this, so again, that's in last week's video. You can break down the script. So if you're having a hard time with one specific part of the script, you can literally just work on that part of the script. That way you don't have a big chunk. Or if it's a really, really long audition, it's 3 pages of audition or more. Like 1 page isn't too bad, but 3 pages. Take it 1 page at a time. Like memorize 1 page and then memorize 2 pages, or memorize the 2nd page, memorize the 3rd page. And then whenever you go back, just read page 1 and then try to remember page 2 and see how far you can get before you have to look at page 2. That's breaking down the script to where you can memorize it better because you're not trying to go, oh, I gotta memorize all 3 pages. So you're like, okay, page 1 and then there's page 2. And it's just easier on you and your brain because you're memorizing, and your memorizing is using your brain. So you don't want your brain to go in complete overload. I mean, you don't want to overload your brain. So do 1 page at a time until you get it. You could do 1 page and then add 1 line from page 2, and then 2 lines so you read all of that. Or you could just do page 1. Just read page 1, get it memorized, then do page 2, then do page 3. Do it that way so it doesn't overload your brain. Take breaks. Actually, you could do this when you're breaking down your script into each page. After you do page 1 and you've got it down, take a 5-minute break, do something that's not reading your script or writing or highlighting your script. Walk away, come back, do page 2, get it completely memorized, and then take a 5-minute break, come back, read page 3, get it completely memorized to where you don't really have to look at the paper, or you don't look at the paper at all. Take a 5-minute break, come back, and see how much of page 1, 2, and 3 you can do. Because taking breaks is important for your brain, for your eyes, just in general. Whether you're studying lines or studying in general, or doing whatever, breaks are important. Study your lines before you go to sleep. This one's a little interesting because some people don't go to sleep until 2 o'clock in the morning. By the way, if you have an audition the next day, I suggest going to bed a little earlier. An hour before, this is what this actually says. Schedule yourself an hour before you go to sleep to go over your lines. However, don't tire your brain out. Read for your allotted time and go to bed. And sleep for an appropriate amount of time, so don't sleep for like 2 hours and get up and read. Sleep for your however long you sleep for. Staying up late and trying to pound lines in your head won't do you any favors. You want to be well rested and able to recall the lines you have previously put in your head. Read your lines. You spend 1 hour before you go to bed going over your lines, or out of that hour you spend 30 minutes. Okay, so you read those lines for 30 minutes and then you go to sleep. You sleep for 6 to 8 hours, however long you sleep for. You get up and first thing I want you to try to do is read your lines. Try to remember your lines without actually looking at them and see how much your brain retained while you were asleep. That's it. It's good to explore the material. Read your entire script. Read the entire sides. Develop a character for your lines so that way it can explain why your character says that. Yes, my mom did. You could say it, yes, my mom did, or yes, my mom did. If she's very stony, very stoic, I'm trying not to say anything that could incriminate me type of person, you can say it like that. Like, explore the character, explore the script. If the character breakdown is very vague, you can kind of go off of that and develop your own character. But if it's very specific, use that to help you in your lines, and that'll help you remember how to say them. Like I said at the end of the last video, not everyone memorizes lines the same way, the same speed, the same time, the same way, anything. So what works for you might not work for me. What works for me might not work for you. So your goal isn't to try to memorize this way specifically every time. It changes. Like, I've had scripts where I don't need to write them down because I can pretty much remember most of it. I've also had scripts where I've got to write them down, because if I don't, I can't remember a monologue that's like 5 lines long. It's just hard. So again, what works for me isn't going to work for you. If you find these tips helpful, let me know in the comments, and I would love to find out any tips that you use that I could try and see if they work for me. So I will see you guys next week. Let me know in the comments what types of videos you would like to see, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.